Attorney Lindley Jones joins us now with some comment on this case. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So how did the defense do? Did they punch enough holes into the prosecution's theory? Did they back up Scott Peterson's story enough?
Well, that's what they had hoped to do, is to plant enough seed of doubt to make the jury conclude that there was reasonable doubt that Scott Peterson committed the crime, but they didn't have the punch that we thought they were going to have all along. They called a brief 14 witnesses. Now, remember, this is going to be a 5-month-long trial. The jury sat there and heard 3+ months of prosecution witnesses, and then this very, very short defense case that didn't have any real bombshells in it, and I think it's questionable whether it did the trick.
All right, as a trial attorney, did this defense team not do something you would have done, like put Scott Peterson on the stand?
I certainly wouldn't have put Scott Peterson on the stand. There were too many things that were unexplained. I don't, however, know if I would have put his parents on the stand either. That was something that occurred. They put his mother on the stand so that she could explain why he had all this cash on him when he was on his way to Mexico. And she gave some rather questionable explanation about, well, I wanted to pay for him to buy, for his brother to buy his truck from him. So I gave him cash. And then the question was asked, well, why did you give him cash and not a check? And she said, well, I didn't want him to have to wait for a check to clear. Well, why not? What's the rush?
Right.
So I don't know if I really would have done that. I don't know that Scott's mom and dad helped. There are people that you might put on the stand during the sentencing phase so that they can talk about what a fine son they have and why he shouldn't be given the death penalty. But in defense, I don't know.
Real quickly, we should point out that he was allegedly on his way to Mexico. He was actually in San Diego playing golf or whatnot.
Right.
All right, but on the other side, is there enough to convict? Is there enough evidence, hard evidence? Isn't this circumstantial for the most part?
It is a circumstantial case, and it is going to be a difficult decision for the jury. I do not expect this to be a quick decision, and I don't know if they will convict or not, frankly. If there's one thing I've learned in my years of practice, it's that you never can really predict what a jury will do. But certainly this is strong for a circumstantial case, given that Scott Peterson wasn't witnessed committing the crime or disposing of the body.
What do you think we'll hear in closing arguments real quickly? We've got only 30 seconds.
We're going to hear the defense try to come up with some coherent alternative explanation of what possibly could have happened to Laci Peterson, and we're going to hear the prosecution tell a coherent, cohesive story of what they believe did happen to Laci Peterson.
Lindley Jones, we'll see when they do closings on Monday, I think. So
should be interesting.
I know. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Federal